Do you ever think you'd be this good?
Is that a real question? Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
what you want me to say to that? Of course I did.
It's pretty impressive.
NBA reporters, please stop asking NBA players stupid questions. What's up, guys? It's Colin from Next Man Up, and I'm sure you've seen some of these viral clips of NBA players being asked some of the dumbest questions you could imagine. Even though some of these players' reactions have served as funny clips or classic videos in the online era, I think we can all agree we hate when players are asked stupid questions. It makes the reporter look bad, it pisses off some of our favorite stars, and generally, it hurts the relationship between the players and the spectators. With that being said, I wanted to break down why players are asked these stupid questions what feels like all too often. And to do just that, I first had to define what makes a question stupid. And with that, I'll break it down into 3 categories. The first type of stupid question is what I would call the content chaser. We see the content chasing questions all the time. This is where a reporter isn't trying to really hear from the player about their game or their practice. This is where a reporter wants to chase a quote or soundbite that fits with a narrative that they're trying to push, usually for some sort of opinion piece that they're working on at the moment. An example of this would be this clip here of an interview with Kyrie Irving. We all know Kyrie is a guy who has some interesting takes and can often act poorly with the media, but in this clip from 2015, I think we can all say he handled this question pretty well.
A great father. So what type of parental role has he played for you and your teammates, LeBron?
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Here, the reporter asks Kyrie how LeBron's parental role has helped this Cavaliers team. Yes, the team who was about to play in the Eastern Conference Finals, made up of professionals, grown men, are somehow supposed to see LeBron James as a parent. Kyrie eventually brushed off the question, saying the only father figure of his is his actual father. But I think it's obvious that the question was meant to receive an answer that would connect LeBron's off-the-court life to his on-the-court experience with his teammates, which was rightfully seen as completely out of line. So I think that's pretty clearly a stupid question. But the next type of stupid question I have is what I like to call the uneducated. The uneducated types of questions aren't meant to necessarily stir the pot or gain clicks, but instead are just questions that are asked because the reporter doesn't understand the game and or the scope of the situation. An example of this type of question would be back in 2017 when the Clippers and the Jazz met in round 1 of the playoffs out west. The Jazz would win the game by 2 points and upset the Clippers at home. Post-game, a reporter would ask head coach Doc Rivers a question that left him speechless.
Held up and try to run the clock down to the final. You know, when you were down 2.
Who would do that? Why would you ever do that?
To maybe 5 seconds.
So
Enough
if you
time for
miss,
an
the
offensive.
game's over.
That's right. This reporter asked Coach Rivers why he didn't tell his team to run out the clock down 2 in a game. For those of you who think you may understand, this would not have ran out the entire game clock, so it would not have set up a necessary game winner or anything like that. This here was just a ridiculous question. Doc's response clearly left him upset, and this reporter was clowned simply because he didn't understand the game. No matter how well you write or how good of a journalist you are, at the end of the day, you still need to know ball. So any questions like that are clearly pretty stupid to me. My last section of stupid questions is probably the most infamous and the most popular. Of course, I'm talking about the troll. The troll knows the game, they know the stakes, and they know exactly how a player would react if they were asked a stupid question. Instead of trying to build relationships with players by asking thoughtful or well-written questions, they decide to drive emotion out of a player by asking them a troll question. While this will drive searches to their websites or maybe their videos, it will strain relationships between them and the players and make you, plus the media as a whole, taken much less seriously.
And he still never won a Finals MVP.
Does it matter? Does it? We won 2 champs. We just won back-to-back.
In this clip, Mark Schwartz is given the opportunity to ask Kevin Durant any question while he's celebrating a Finals championship and visually displaying his Finals MVP trophy. And instead of asking him about that experience, he directs a comment about how Steph Curry was at the time yet to win one. This comment wasn't made to give KD a chance to talk about Steph or learn more about KD's mentality. It was debatably not even a question, and this was meant to discredit Durant. Schwartz trolls notoriously because it causes reaction and makes his name more recognizable. And this strategy has to be personally my least favorite for any sort of reporting. This guy is a clown. Now, this left me with what might be an even bigger question. Why is it that we see so many NBA players being asked stupid questions more and more, especially in the modern era? Let's look at it. One of the biggest reasons would have to be the added requirements and stipulations about NBA media access. According to the NBA's press release, reporters are allotted 30 minutes pre-game, 20 minutes post-game, sometimes more depending on the situation, as well as time post-practice and during training camp, all to ask questions. With that being said, it seems like there's always media availability for NBA players. This extra time allows for a lot of questions to be asked, and trying to stick with originality, reporters sometimes try way too hard to ask diverse and a lot of the times stupid questions. Along with this sentiment, sometimes there simply aren't good questions to ask in a certain situation. After a player loses a crucial game or makes a big mistake, there's really nothing else important for a reporter to ask about. So they have to ask questions knowing they'll probably get a response they won't like and a response that might be a little harsh. Even in good situations, there's only so many questions you can ask a professional athlete about the game they play without diving into drama or speculation, especially in the social media era. Lastly, while NBA players go through media training in order to make the media easier for all parties, at the end of the day, these guys are athletes, not spokesmen. Sometimes players react poorly to any sort of question, good or bad, and it can create a disconnect between player and media. To wrap things up, reporters ask NBA players stupid questions, sometimes because they have to, and other times because they feel like they have to. Either way, I'm on the team of putting a stop to asking NBA players stupid questions, and I hope you are too. That's all the time I got. Make sure to watch out for new videos every week, and I hope you guys show some love to this one. Keep on rocking in the free world, and remember, stick with the next man up. Peace out.